Ms. Luria, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, for joining us today to discuss this important budget. Just wanted to bring up something that's been top of mind in my recent discussions with veterans across our district, not only veterans themselves, but employees at the Hampton VA Medical Center. And I appreciate you coming down to visit us last year and see the facility. But the Air Commission report has raised a lot of concern for our veterans in the community. And I've tried to reiterate, this is a very long range planning document that is just recommendations, but can you kind of talk through your thought process, the timeline, the next phases of what will be done with these recommendations so that I can, make sure to share that with veterans across Southeastern Virginia?
Yeah, Ms. Luria, thank you very much for the question, and thank you for hosting me in your district. And I think, the kind of the recommendation at the heart of your district is addressing an issue that you and I think live personally, but there's one afternoon, and vets, unfortunately, there have to live every time they go to the current facility, which is that horrible traffic. And I think having new VAMCs on both the north side and the south side for that vet-rich, including very woman vet-rich population is, I think, a good recommendation. Nevertheless, these are recommendations that, pursuant to the statute, again, passed in, I think, 2018 or maybe 2017, required me to submit those recommendations. They now go to the commission. The commission itself can't yet meet because the commissioners are stuck, or are at least not proceeding. They're in the Senate. My goal would be to continue to update those commissioners with data that we're able to generate through VA as they're considering those recommendations. They can agree or disagree with my recommendations, meaning they can send them back to me to take another swipe if they think I've done the wrong thing. Ultimately, they need to report to the president. The president then has to decide, does he submit them to you or does he not? That is to say, he can disagree with my recommendations, and then they'll come to you. At the end of the day, you all have an opportunity up or down all of these recommendations. But I think as the statute lays out, it's a pretty quick process. And frankly, if the president submits them, I think you would have to, if you're going to disapprove them, you'd have to do that over his veto if it ever got to that. But we're a long way from that. This process is just beginning. I hope that in the communities where there are concerns, the commission will actually come to the community to hear from you and from your veterans about this, and we'll continue to provide them data to make sure it's up to date. We're at the beginning of this process. I don't know if it gets any further, and I don't know precisely where it ends, but inevitably more input from veterans about real life experience is going to be critical to the outcome.
Well, thank you, and I've tried to reemphasize that to the veterans and the employees of our Hampton VA as well, that their input is valued as part of this process, and that that we're a long way from any changes. And I apologize for the buzzer in the background, but also that please, I would hope you confirm this, is that there is not going to be any closure of existing VA facilities without the further replacement of those. By, in this case, actually more modern, more suitable, and some cases closer to where the veterans live, by having one on both the peninsula and the south side. So we'd just love if you could alleviate some of those immediate fears that we've been hearing so much about across our community.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, these recommendations, as our infrastructure investments funded by this budget submission, which is the largest ever infrastructure request we've ever made at VA. Those things are all based on the idea of getting veteran care closer to veterans, getting the kind of care that veterans are going to need available to them in more settings. But in all cases, we won't change existing areas that provide care until there's the new facility to replace that. So in no circumstance let me put it this way, in every circumstance, VA is staying in every market across the community, across the country. We assessed 96 separate markets among the 50 states. We are staying in every single one of those markets.
Well, thank you for that confirmation. And I know I'm short on time, but just wanted to reaffirm as well that this budget request, you've evaluated it in every way possible to make sure that we can meet the veterans' healthcare needs as rapidly as possible. We do continue to hear a lot about delays, and I know some of that has to do with hiring and other aspects, but, just can you confirm quickly that, everything that's focused in this budget is focused on getting veterans as care that they need as rapidly as possible and alleviating any of those delays?
Priority number one for VA is timely access to world-class care. Every one of those words is important: timely access, world-class care, and this budget helps us do that.
Okay, thank you again for briefing our committee on the
Thank you.
budget, and I yield back.